according to Michael Gove, people who refuse a coronavirus vaccine are selfish and they are putting lives at risk. He also warned that people who refuse the vaccine may be barred from a host of events and venues.
However, the Prime Minister has distanced himself from the Cabinet Office Minister's comments and instead has sought to encourage the take-up of vaccines rather than condemn those who have still to come forward. So is it selfish not to have the vaccine? Joining us now is journalist Maddy Mussen, who's waiting for her second jab and says it's stupid and selfish not to have the vaccine, along with Beya, founder of Cheeky Sport, who is fully vaccinated but thinks we should respect people's choice to not have it. Thank you for joining us this morning. I mean, Maddy, you're saying it's very selfish for people not to come forward and have their vaccine. You feel really passionately about this, but isn't this also about taking away people's choice?
I don't believe so, no. I mean, I guess that it is a choice that if you aren't vaccinated, you won't enjoy the same liberties as other people, but that is a choice that you are making. That is not someone taking away your choice. That is a choice that you make every single day when you choose not to book your vaccine. And what Michael Gove is saying, as much as I hate to agree with Michael Gove on anything, is completely true. You are putting other people at risk, and it's not a wise or smart decision not to get your vaccine, not just for the people around you, but in the end, if you're the one that ends up in an ICU with a very severe COVID case, it's a dumb decision for you.
Yeah, and Joel, what do you make of this then? You know, it's putting others at risk to not do it. You know, what do you make of those who choose not to have the vaccine when they are putting others at risk?
Well, originally I wasn't very sure, you know, just like the rest of the nation, we wanted to see what was happening. I think we're still at an early stage. I did go ahead and get my vaccine, but unfortunately it looks like even those who have got their vaccine, it still hasn't completely eradicated anything or completely improved anything. I mean, there's 17% of the variant cases across the UK in the 4 weeks leading up to July the 19th that have been from people who have been fully vaccinated. It doesn't make sense. During the course of the Euros, it wasn't being mentioned. Straight after the Euros, when England unfortunately lose against Italy, all of a sudden the cases are made clear. It is taking away people's freedom because, you know, if people want to go out and they can't because they're not double vaccinated, you're actually forcing people in a, shall I say, suppressive way in order to do something without saying that they actually have to. And I think that's totally unfair. It should be someone's choice.
Maddy, there are those that feel that, aren't there, because of the restrictions that are being put in place, because of, you know, events that people are going to have to go to. They're going to have proof of being double vaccinated. Nightclubs, for example, students going back to university. There is this sense that there's going to be an ever shrinking world for those people who choose not to have the vaccination. Well,
that's at their own risk. To be honest, it's arguably keeping them safer, because if they can't go to those places where transmission is a lot more likely, like, for instance, if you don't have a vaccine and you want to, you know, pop off to a nightclub and then you get COVID and you die, it's not very good for you. But if you get the vaccine and you're allowed there, then it's a lot safer for you. So ideally, you know, everyone will be vaccinated, but if not, then yeah, I'm sorry, you won't be allowed to do that. But that's been the history for ages. Like, people have had to get vaccines to travel to countries. Like, sorry, if you want to go to the Democratic Republic of Congo, you have to get a vaccine, and now you have to go and get a vaccine if you want to go to the pub.
Maddy,
yes,
I'm sorry, but if you look at the pool of the people that they're really saying should be vaccinated, and you're talking about nightclubs, there's over 1 million people, right, within the pool of 18 to 24 years old. Yes, but yet it's the lowest amount of people of deaths, admissions, transmissions, anything like that. So it doesn't even make sense. It looks like it's even the wrong age category. So for me, like I'm saying, yes, I'm double vaccinated, but it feels like you're forcing someone, and people shouldn't feel forced. You've got people out there who don't know the full effects of the vaccine. There's people out there who want to have babies. They don't know if this is going to impact them in any single way.
Joel, you can't say that. You can't say it's going to cause him.
Because if you look at it, Maddy, they skipped how many clinical test stages? Loads. That's why when
hold on just one second. We've got Dr. Hillary here, so we should probably bring him in at this point, because, you know, there are people, aren't there, who have various concerns. There are lots of reasons why people might choose not to have the vaccine, you know, that health issues themselves, fear, you know, but we've got to address the fact there, the point that Joel was making.
No, there's actually no suggestion whatsoever that the vaccine affects future fertility. There's no hypothetical reason why it should. All the clinical trials have been done. So let's just diss that one. Look, there are people who are scared, that's one thing. There are people who are mistrustful, that's another thing. That doesn't necessarily make them selfish. That's an educational matter. They could be convinced that it is safe and it's effective. What is potentially selfish is when people say, it doesn't affect me, so I'm not going to have it done. The fact is, if they catch Covid-19, they may bitterly regret it and demand treatment. And there are many examples of people who've refused vaccine for the reason that they don't think it'll affect them. It has affected them. They've gone into hospital, they've been on a ventilator in ITU and said, I wish it was the biggest mistake of my life, I wish I had the vaccine. If they also say, I'll only have it if I can go on holiday, go to parties and go to the cinema, again, you could argue that that is egocentric. I think we have to understand that there are some people who just need to be convinced that it is a good thing to do and that it helps herd immunity. And for those who say others can protect themselves, I'm not bothered, some people can't protect themselves. If they're immunocompromised, then the vaccine doesn't work for them. So they are helping everybody else if they have the vaccine, and there is an altruistic herd immunity benefit to everybody being jabbed.
But you can see why Michael Gove's comments probably, you know, got people's backs up.
I think if you,
and then Boris Johnson comes out and takes a completely...
If you denigrate people...
Is that the right thing to do?
No. If you denigrate people, they dig their heels in, no one's going to force me to do anything. People don't like that. But if you have an approach which is educational, which is patient and gentle, and you point out all the benefits just to themselves and to other people, then usually you win them over. And that's what our huge and wonderful NHS and voluntary service is doing right now with the rollout. They are patiently explaining to people why it's a good thing to do.
Okay.
Always thank you, Dr. Hilary, and also to Maddy and Joel for joining us this morning. We take all of your thoughts on board.